The score is 1-1.
Oh my god!
You can tell with 120. So there we go.
Sharky and I need to decide a winner, and we're gonna do that with the craziest tiebreaker challenge yet. This tiebreaker challenge will span across one whole Stardew Valley year. We will have a list of 10 challenges to compete against each other for. Most challenges won by the end of the year will take home the crown and the title of the ultimate supreme, totally the best Stardew Valley player of all time. Or, you know, something like that. Before we kick off this winner takes all tiebreaker, there's a few things I need to preface with this challenge. I shaped this final competition to include many end game challenges. That being said, I needed us to hit the ground running. So we started on the first day of year 2 and 1,001,000 gold. Don't ask about the extra 1,000 gold. We'll both start with all gold tools. All of our skills are at level 10, meaning mastery is on the table from the get-go. There are no mods to help us, and pretty much every single location is free for us to explore. Okay, yeah, I think that's about all I had to say. Anyway, let's get into it. From the word go, I had already ditched Sharky in the dust of my tracks as I raced off to the mines. Immediately, I took the elevator down to level 100 to secure one of the 7 potential star drops. As the screen glowed purple, I was already on the board for one of our 10 challenges. Oh look! My star drop tastes like winning. Oh yeah, baby, you bet it does. In the levels preceding, I geared up with the obsidian sword and space boots. I left the mines a new man. Shortly after gearing up in the mines, I paid a visit to the secret path beside Clint's to get my hands on a power book. There are 19 power books total, and the alleyway buffet was number 1. Right after this, I took off to Krobus to purchase star drop number 2. Back on the farm, I took some time to cut trees down and start making a chest area for myself. I can imagine I'm gonna need it soon, so I got 4 down before taking out into the valley again. I did some foraging around the Cindersap forest before picking up a help wanted quest. These are going to be crucial for prize tickets, and you'll see why I need them soon enough. For now, I tried to find some squid kids in the mines. Unfortunately, none showed, so I finished my first day of competition in the quarry, collecting some mining essentials. As we woke up on day 2, Sharky let me know of a glaring mistake I'd made when I set this farm up for us. I kinda forgot to give him a shipping bin. It wasn't even to hinder him, I promise. I just totally slipped my mind, but he didn't mind getting himself one, so it's all good. Anyway, back to the grueling matchup. One of the potential star drops required me to catch every single fish. And what better way to spend a day than getting a start on that very task? Entering the sewers that afternoon, we caught our very first glimpse of the person standing in the way of our victory. The man himself, Sharky Games. He drew first blood, so to speak, and caught the first of 5 legendary fish. Oh, that's one cheeky son of a shark. To add insult to injury, it took me so long to finally hook one. But not to worry, I got it. And we were right back in it. I started the next day with a bit of fishing in the river. Afterwards, I took off to the mines again, this time to try and complete a help wanted quest to slay some rock crabs. I was rudely interrupted by Sharky having problems, so I went to help him and we got the obsidian sword to spawn in for him. I made a heartbreaking discovery later on that the help wanted quest wanted me to slay lava crabs, not the regular kind. But I didn't mind spending my time down here because one of the challenges was most monsters slayed. So at least I was still being productive. Good morning. Wait a minute. What are you doing here? Get out of here, you silly little shark. One of the 10 challenges is most villager hearts. My strategy for this was to give up birthday gifts, the first of which would go to Kent. Down to Willie's I then went so I could grab 2 trapper bobbers, and I returned to the mountain lake. The legend was on my hit list today. The rain was pouring down, making it the perfect conditions to catch one. Putting all of my 1,000 plus hours of this game on display, and this one fish was well worth it. It only only took hooking it once to secure legendary fish number 2. With plenty of time still left in the day, I used it to catch more fish that only appear when it rains. No, I hadn't managed to finish the rock crab help wanted quest, but I had picked up a couple more over the last couple of days. I took my first of many bus rides to the desert to get some coconuts, and I went fishing for a largemouth bass. Not to mention Sharky making a smart-ass remark about me fishing, which, to be fair, is kind of true. I do have a remarkable track record for fishing in these challenges. The coconut I eventually handed over to Penny, and the largemouth bass I caught was going to go to Leah, but for the absolute life of me, I could not find her to save my life. It's not like I even had the schedule up on the wiki on my phone or anything. That'd be silly. I took my frustrations out on the monsters in the mines. What does he mean, thanks for a great night? You know, I've always loved a good enemies to lovers storyline. But this isn't one of those, because that son of a shark is going down. Unless... Hiding beside the mine entrance was the dwarf vendor, who, I remembered, sells the dwarfish safety manual. I then kept the power book hunting going. Marnie's animal catalogue was the next one to tick off. Right after, I had to travel to Ginger Island, which meant a trip on Willie's boat and, unfortunately, an unskippable cutscene. I was here to give Pam an earth crystal for a help wanted quest I picked up earlier. And after many hours wasted waiting for Leah to finally leave her house, not creepy at all by the way, I finally got that largemouth bass to her. This gave me my first prize ticket, putting me one step closer to those prize machine goodies. Turns out both Sharky and I had a similar idea on how we were going to finish off our days. I conceded, but I just headed 5 levels further down to slay monsters for the rest of the night. And then there was fire. Or, you know, a few furnaces. The 7th of spring is our Mayor Lewis's birthday, and I added to my total villager hearts with a cactus fruit. Today's task was to spend the day putting my axe to the grindstone and chopping down trees. There was a certain power book that you can get by doing this called Woody's Secret. I won't lie, long after the sun had set I was losing hope, but then in the dying hours of the day it popped out of a tree on the farm, and I could tick off book number 4. Another challenge on my mind was most hats collected. A part of my strategy here was to collect achievements to purchase the hats they unlock at the Hat Mouse. To make a start on this, I used the surplus of wood from yesterday to get an upgrade on my farmhouse from Robin, which will eventually get me the moving up achievement. I then popped down a few lightning rods to catch stray lightning bolts back on the farm before fishing back in the river. Who knows where he's going? But I caught a catfish. Close by, I noticed the special quest board had a prize ticket. I think Sharky had finished a quest last week, but it's fun to know that I also get a ticket. So that went straight to the prize ticket machine. To finish up the day, I found myself back in the mines slaying monsters. Let's just say, it's a bad day to be a slime in the mines. If you know, you know. And if you don't, go and watch this video after this one. But it's really good, I promise. Waking up the next day, I had 4 batteries to my name already. My plans for the future were already coming together, but I can't get ahead of myself. For now, I whacked my way through to the secret woods, and I caught myself a wood skip. On the other side of the valley, I popped down 4 crab pots that I had made to get a wriggle on catching the crab pot fish. Then I hustled down the mines to catch the special fish on levels 20, 60, and 100. That shark's got some real nerve. All is forgiven, however, because I caught all the mine fish by the end of the day. We're already 10 days into the competition, and things are only going to heat up from here. Vincent was next in line to receive a birthday gift. I gave him a spare coconut I had lying around. It was back to the mines and monster slaying today, but there was another reason for my brash mine expeditions. There lay a power book down here that had a chance to pop up from slaying monsters, called the Monster Slayer Compendium. Unfortunately, I didn't get it, but Sharky did yoink a gold bar of mine. The mind games have already begun. My luck with the Monster Compendium changed on day 11. I had returned to the mines in search of such a mysterious book, and right as the morning was wrapping up, I happened upon the Monster Compendium. Throughout the rest of the day, I scavenged the lower levels for gold. I quickly popped by the saloon to get a stack of coffees, for speed boost purposes, and I collected copper in the higher levels. It was hard to stay away from the mines, I must admit, but that was because a part of my plan involved a lot of gold. Quick sidetrack, one of the challenges was the deepest Skull Cavern dive, and to achieve the deepest dive, I was going to replicate Jadestone in a bunch of crystallariums, hence why I need the gold. Anyway, back to regular scheduled programming. While I was down here, I managed to reach a new level of understanding. Unfortunately, that does not mean I now finally understand calculus and I can retake my class that I failed in school, but it does mean I have a mastery level to claim, so to the mastery cave I went. My first choice was combat mastery, because I like trinkets. Then it was back to monster slaying and gold gathering. The 13th of spring, of course, hosts the Egg Festival in town. Up for grabs was the straw hat, an advantage for the person who wins it, no doubt. With the ice pip incident fresh in my mind, it was time to put that shark in his place. With the egg hunt victory under my belt, not only did I take home the straw hat, but a newly enlarged sense of self-worth. At least he's got something. I think I may have hit a nerve last night because both of us were racing to the desert today. When we got to the desert, I had to guess up or down, and unfortunately the race to get a coconut for Haley's birthday was won by Sharky. I took it really well, by the way. So I had to settle on giving Haley a daffodil instead. Sharky, probably still upset at his loss yesterday, decided to rub it in a little further by saying it was gold quality. It would have been iridium quality if I had picked it up, pal.
Stop rubbing it in.
Anywho, on a much better note, I was able to move my crab pots down to the ocean, as I had caught all the freshwater crab pot fish. Then it was back to the mine grind for gold for a while, all before replenishing my salads at the saloon and purchasing a stack of bombs. There was a good reason I purchased all of those bombs, and it was because it's the Desert Festival. I'd like to point out that there were 3, potentially more hats on offer here to get at the Desert Festival. So on the first day, I did some fishing for Willy to get me started, then I answered some questions with the scholar to add on to my calico egg collection. With them, I purchased the first of 3 hats, a blue bow. I left it there for today because I wanted to make use of a full day for a Skull Cavern run. In the meantime, I took a little trip over to Ginger Island to gather hardwood. I accepted Robin's resource rush quest on the way back home, and just before bed, I dropped the blue bow right beside my straw hat, safely away in my hat collecting chest. The spirits were in good humour today, which was good enough for me to go on a daring Skull Cavern crusade. Armed to the teeth with bombs, I got a challenge from Marlin and got to work in the caverns. My highest priority were calico eggs, but when the caverns are littered with egg nodes, it makes it a breeze to get them. Not to mention the cat statues placed around the caverns will either bless you or curse you. Mostly bless, but sometimes curse. And hey, any monster slayed down here will add on to my final number anyway. I returned topside that night with an inventory full of goodies. I gave Gil my final cavern rating, which impressed him very much so. The eggs I used to purchase the dark velvet bow, a few mystery boxes, and the mummy mask. And I secured the 2 hats in my hat chest when I got home that night. Wait a minute. I'm back in the caverns. Well, I did have 51 bombs left over, so hey, why not, am I right? Another heroic dive through the musty caverns is what got me 10 more mystery boxes on the final day of the Desert Festival. I'll tell you why I need them very soon. But it's day 18 now, and we've got more important things to do, like making our first 4 crystallariums. The best time to invest in your future is right now. You also may notice that I have a fairy flying above my head. Well, I got my first trinket yesterday, and this fairy heals me. Precisely why I chose combat to be my first mastery level. And I gave Pam a birthday gift too. Off to the mines I went after this. I was here to collect resources like stone and copper. I should note I also knocked off a monster slayer goal too. A nice little nod to the progress I was making towards most monsters slayed. Luckily, all the Skull Cavern bombing and stone collecting in the mines had been been enough to complete Robin's resource rush. With that, I got another prize ticket and we were getting ever so close to some very juicy prizes. Back on the farm, I had to expand my storage to separate the fish related items, and I was unlucky not to catch a gobby that night. A gobby, you ask? What's a gobby, you say? This, my friends, is a gobby. Get your head out the gutter, please and thank you. I'm now turning my coffees into triple shot espressos, by the way, for longer periods of speed. I use that speed to sprint to the top of the Ginger Island volcano. Sharky had obviously opened it up on a previous day, so it made getting there significantly easier. Nonetheless, waiting for me at the top was a prismatic shard. I decided to then take a journey through the volcano dungeon. A challenge on our list of challenges is to collect the most amount of dragon teeth, a pretty rare resource that can only be found here in the dungeon. Sadly, I left with the same amount of teeth that I entered with, 0. But I got a second prismatic shard, so there's that, I guess. Speaking of prismatic shards, there's only one thing to do with your very first one. That is, of course, take a little trip out to the desert. With the Galaxy Sword now in my possession, I took it for a test run back in the Volcano Dungeon. I got a bit luckier today in my search for dragon teeth. A single tooth presented itself to me today, and that's more than what I had yesterday, so I'll take it. Before wrapping up the day, I handed a birthday gift over to Shane, who was hanging out in the saloon, and I got some much needed rest. Our favourite big balloon book-selling vendor Marcelo was debuting his collection of books for the first time today. It seemed like a mad dash between competitors to get there, but truthfully it didn't really matter. I purchased 4 power books from Marcelo, the Price Catalogue, Old Slitherlegs, Horse the Book, and last but not least, The Way of the Wind Part 1. I then raced off to the mines to collect copper, which I put towards a help wanted quest on behalf of Clint. For doing so, I actually got the Go For achievement, another hat to collect further on down the track. Furthering my help wanted quest efforts, I picked up another one from Demetrius to catch 5 anchovies. Naturally, this is what I did for the remainder of the day. I didn't quite manage to catch all 5 last night, so I had to keep the momentum going through to the next day. Luckily, it didn't take long to wrap it up, and for my endeavour, I got another prize ticket. I used it at the prize machine at Lewis's and got myself 3 more mystery boxes. Afterwards, I popped off to the mines for the day. I had picked up Willy's Juicy Bugs quest this morning on the way to catch more anchovies. During my time down here, I quickly noticed Sharky was donating a suspicious amount of artifacts. Did he want the achievement? Was he going for the star drop? What was that sneaky shark up to? My bug slaying, bug meat collecting agenda carried on into day 23. I put in the hard yards and I had it finished by the mid-afternoon. The bug meat went straight into Willy's smelly bait bin on the pier, and my efforts produced my very first star drop tea. I have a very special plan for this tea, but I can't reveal it just yet. So for now, I'll just tell you about how I unlocked fishing mastery in the mastery cave, and about how I smelted copper. Look, it's not all go 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 all the time. Hey, what's he doing back here? I thought I said to never show your face around here. With everything being locked today due to the flower dance happening in the woods, I used today to plant down a rare seed I'd picked up earlier from the travelling cart. And I fished. I'm not really helping the whole Poxial fishes 24/7 allegations right now, but since gaining mastery in fishing, I had the chance to now haul up golden fishing chests. And lo and behold, I did just exactly that, and what did I fish up but another star drop tea. Surely that means I'll be able to fish up more in the future. Moving right along to day 25, Marcelo was back in business above the movie theatre. I toddled along to grab the long-awaited part 2 of the Way of the Wind series, and I spent the majority of the day venturing through the Volcano Dungeon again. Luck seemed to have been on my side today. A dragon skeleton treasured 3 dragon teeth for me to extract on my run, bringing my total to 4 teeth. I set out the following morning with gifts at the forefront of my noggin. I gave Pam an iron bar for a help wanted quest, Pierre a daffodil for his birthday, and Haley a largemouth bass, also for a help wanted quest. I genuinely don't think I've ever done so many help wanted quests in my life. I then decided to restock my coal levels with a trip to the quarry. And right afterwards, I tried my luck in the Adventurers Guild for another power book. All that time in the mines seemed to have paid off because I added the Mapping Cave Systems book to my collection. You need 1,000 monsters slayed to access this book, so safe to say that's put me in high spirits. I still had a lot of the day left to use up, so I filled it with a trip to the desert to trade some Omni Geodes to the desert trader for artifact troves. And I tried fishing for more gold chests, but I'm sure we're all well aware of how successful that was. I'd like to play a little game with you all. A game of spot the difference, if you will. Notice how Sharky has planted taro roots? Well, that's because the island trader sells 3 hats for 30 taro roots each. Now let's have a look at what I'm planting. Have you noticed the difference? Well, those, my friends, are Reii shoots. And I'm about to find that out the hard way very soon. While we wait for Poxial to realize his mistake, I made use of the fact I was on Ginger Island to fetch some more dragon teeth. My luck took a dramatic turn heading into the volcano dungeon. I struck purple dragon tooth gold, so to speak. I actually just couldn't stop collecting them if I tried. I left Ginger Island with 13 teeth, and honestly, I can't even remember what I was complaining about. Oh, and I can't forget that I gave Emily a birthday gift too. And to top off a crazy day, I bought home radioactive goggles from a drop in the dungeon. Another hat to add to the collection. The final day of spring is upon us already. Neither me nor Sharky was slowing down anytime soon though. I waited patiently outside of Pam's trailer this morning to hand her a frozen tear. Another help wanted quest done, another achievement gained, another prize ticket given to the prize machine, and another book so close to being mine. Over at Clint's, I got him to whack open some troves and boxes for me. The artifact troves had a chance to drop another power book for me, however it wasn't meant to be just yet. The mystery boxes held both a hat and a power book. Today I was lucky enough to come across the Book of Mysteries, which I'm happy to add on to the collection. I then decided to book in the spring season with a few attempts at Junimo Kart. That's right, one of our challenges is to have the highest Junimo Kart score, which is funny because we're both really inexperienced with Junimo Kart, so this should be fun. I played for a while today, getting used to the controls, the mechanics, how the little fruits on the track work, and how to get as many points as I possibly could. I even put up a pretty good score of 43,400 points. Not a bad way to round out an outstanding first season of competition. We are powering through into summer, and the first day of the new season was no exception. It was right to fishing, catching all of the new fish that sprung up under the hot summer sun. This included catching legendary fish number 3, the crimson fish. I ended up fishing for most of the day, but as it got later, I substituted the rod for my galaxy sword and hit up the mines to slay monsters. Funnily enough, I stumbled across another hat while I was down here, and I won't be complaining while I stuff that away in my hat collection chest. The rod did have to reappear the next day, however, I still had a few extra summer fish to catch, including an octopus, a pike, and a pufferfish. Afterwards, I found myself back in the mines. I think I'm having deja vu. With the fairy by my side and a galaxy sword swinging, I made short work of the monsters down here. The hunt for ectoplasm continued on to day 31. Unfortunately, I came up short every time. I had to change things up the next day. 3 days without success does not do any good to one's self-esteem. So I headed back to Ginger Island, and further deeper into the island, the volcano dungeon. On my way to the dwarf, I got to collect a few more dragon teeth. But you'll notice I bought 10 diamonds with me. With those, I purchased the Diamond Hunter book, adding on another book towards the challenge. I got one more tooth before leaving the dungeon later that night. My lightning rods had caught 2 bolts yesterday, giving me 2 more batteries to make 2 more crystallariums to replicate an additional 2 jade stone. It was a very convoluted way to say I just made 2 more crystallariums. Over in the town river, I caught a few rainbow trout for a help wanted quest. These will become important later on. I accepted another one shortly after, and I couldn't believe it, but there was a queue to give George gifts. Oh no, please Sharky, after you. The mines were calling out to me following this, so I was drawn back in to search for this bloody ectoplasm. Not only did I get another prismatic shard, but I also got the ectoplasm. I went straight to the wizard, who was thrilled to have the ectoplasm in his possession. Robin was after an amethyst for a help wanted quest. I gave that over to her, and with 2 prize tickets in my possession, I got to collect 2 more prizes from the prize machine. I may be 1 ticket away from the Friendship 101 book, but that would have to wait as I ran out of tickets. Hey, remember how I planted those rice shoots? Yeah, I figured that out today. I'm now rich in unmilled rice, but lacking in the brain department. Not to worry, I made up for that by catching all 3 of the Ginger Island fish. My tasks on day 35 were plain and simple. I gave Evelyn a leek for a quest, I gave Robin her lost axe back, and I planted down some taro tuber. Yes, I double checked. If I had somehow planted down rice shoots again, I think I may have just given up the competition there and then. Never to mind, I once again made short work of the volcano dungeon, plundering it for dragon teeth. I must have been picking the perfect days for it because there were just so many. How am I getting so many dragon teeth right now? I noticed in passing that the dwarf actually sells a pink bow, so I grabbed one to add to the hat collection. 8 was the final number of teeth I walked away with that night, bringing our total now to 29. Mooching into town the next morning, I passed by the special quest board and picked up Robin's project special quest, which tasked me to gather 80 hardwood. I was pretty keen to finish this one, considering if I do, I get another power book. So I searched far and wide for opportunities to collect as much hardwood as I could. I then migrated over to the dig site for a bit of panning. You may be thinking, Pox, this is a weird way to spend your time considering you're competing for the title of Ultimate Supreme, totally the best Stardew player of all time. But as a matter of fact, I chose the challenges. So of course, I made the final challenge, Most Lucky Rings Panned Up. My textbook panning skills proved worthless today, however 0 lucky rings were panned up, and I went home that night empty-handed. At least I got to have a bit of fun playing some Junimo kart racing Sharky. I'll tell you what, it's a whole lot more stressful when you can literally see the other player's score. We had to stop on day 37 for Sharky to take a bathroom break. He's got the bladder size of a mother of 5. Used your own joke against you, Sharky. Go watch his first video if you want context. When things did kick back off again, I finished up Robin's quest with some good old-fashioned stump chopping. The prize machine finally gave me the Friendship 101 book, and we can tick off another book added to the collection. Back at home, I used some ginger and sugar to make ginger ale. It gives me a +1 luck boost, so I'm gonna keep a hold of these for panning. Speaking of, that's what I did. But just when I thought I was gonna be panning in the peace of quiet, that's when I saw him.
And now I want to sit back and relax and enjoy my evening. When all of a sudden, I hear this agitating, grating voice.
We made a joke about duping a lucky ring because we'd done it in the past, but then I actually got one. So I asked if he got one, and he replied with 3. I can't tell if he's joking or not. We both passed out last night, so in the same bed as where we woke up. Nothing unusual for us. From yesterday's panning, I managed to get 1 single ring to start my collection, and another hat. That's good to know panning can produce random hats. I had to trek back out to Ginger Island, this time to give Maru a birthday gift. And pan again. Sharky and I were showing similar colours now, but it was good to have him back panning with me. Sometimes you gotta keep your friends close and your enemies closer. I managed to pan up 1 more lucky ring today and 1 hat, but we did keep ourselves busy drawing in the dirt. Cutthroat competition disguised in playful banter is quintessential to our dynamic. Waking up the following day, I checked in on my rare seed only to find half a greenhouse of starfruit. Seriously, what's he up to? After discussing the luau with Sharky and ultimately coming to the conclusion that there was no point in going, I spent some time back on the farm crafting a bunch of random items so I could get the DIY achievement. I also made myself the iridium band just as a quality of life upgrade. Then I kept on crafting cheap on resource items to get the artisan achievement, only to finish the day down in the mines, slaying skeletons. Upon checking the TV this morning, I saw it was a very good luck day. Okay, well, the fairy's in the way, but you just gotta trust me. To make use of such a good luck day, I took off to the dig site to do more panning. It's the one challenge I haven't put that much time into, and I'm scared Sharky is gonna beat me at my own game. So I was happy to have panned up another single lucky ring today, slowly but surely increasing my lucky ring collection. I took a stroll around town waiting for things to start on day 41. Through sheer luck, I thought maybe I could pull the trash can hat, but alas it wasn't meant to be. Giving a birthday gift to Alex, however, was meant to be, and so was completing the spooky skeleton monster slayer goal. It's important to note that some of the monster slayer goals reward hats for completing them, and we all know how important these little suckers are. After popping down 2 additional crystallariums on my side of the farm, I took off to the mines for a while today. I think I was still on that monster slayer grind, this time for Duggies. However, that stopped later in the afternoon because I remembered it was Sunday. Sunday is an important day because it's the only day that the desert trader will trade my jadestone for staircases. With my first lot of staircases acquired, I went back to Duggie hunting. Turns out I didn't have many left to slay. I finished the monster slayer goal pretty quickly, and I got my hands on another hat. Back on the farm that night, I did some reconnaissance over on Sharky's half of the farm, and what I saw horrified me. How I didn't think of a coop baffles me. That was such a good idea, and the wool for cloth to use in tailoring hats? So smart! I'm not gonna lie, this panicked me a little bit, but I didn't have a minute to stop and think. Time spent thinking is time wasted in a situation like this. I just had to keep going and pray that all of my strategies would work out in due time. Here in the Skull Caverns, I was doing a run for resources, mostly gold, iridium, and prismatic shards if I got lucky, with an added bonus of monster slaying. Further into the night, I managed to hit level 100, where I received some iridium snake milk from Mr. Key, and when all was said and done, technically I'd put up my furthest Skull Cavern run to date. The score to beat was now 112. Ball's now in your court, Mr. Sharky. Have at it. Waking up the next morning, I took some time to expand the farm necessities. More crystallariums, more furnaces, more lightning rods. My time in the caverns had produced quite a few Omni Geodes, so I traded them for artifact troves. I gave Clint another 16 chances to give me the treasure appraisal guide, but he refused to give it over. Over on the island, I found my taro ready for harvest. I ran them all through seed makers back on the farm. I'll need 90 total for the 3 hats the island trader sells. To kill some time that night, I started a hat tailoring chest. I've mentioned it a couple of times now, but there are quite a few hats that you can tailor. You get these by combining cloth and certain items in Emily's sewing machine. So I thought I'd make a start on that by setting aside a few items I'd need to do this. Now you may be thinking, Pox, what are you doing waiting in Jodie's house? You look like you're waiting for Sam to wake up. And to that I'd say you're correct, well done. Sam is going to be my husband. Combining both an iridium quality gift and a star drop tea, I shot his hearts up from 0 to 7 in a matter of seconds. And you'll see why I need a husband soon. But for now, I managed to dig up another power book. Totally caught me by surprise, but I'm happy to tick that one off. And I just realized that I also have the Jewels of the Sea book. Cloth was something that I was lacking for hat tailoring, but I had a plan. You see, the perk Crusader allows me to slay mummies without the need of bombs. And what do they drop? Cloth. Not only that, but slaying them obviously goes towards one of the challenges, plus the Monster Slayer goal gives me a hat. I'd like to believe this was one of my smarter ideas in this competition. I should also mention that I got the generous perk on my pan. Hopefully that gives me more chances of finding lucky rings. I finished the day off getting in some Junimo carp practice, and so did Sharky, so it would seem. Neither of us cracked a score past 40,000, but we did get pretty close. A green haze had fallen upon the valley today, and I couldn't care less. It's harsh, I know, but I really had no use for either fiber nor moss. Instead, I used the rain to catch a red snapper from the ocean. I then gave Sam another cactus fruit, then asked him to be a little more than friends. It just goes to show how a couple of gifts and one really strong magical tea can forge instant relationships. Afterwards, I stood in the green rain again to catch a dorado, another fish I hadn't caught yet, and I finished off the day in the caverns, trying to reset the first few levels to slay mummies. The 19th of summer is Demetrius's birthday, so I got him a purple mushroom. Although anytime I give a gift now, I just think about all of those rabbit feet that Sharky's probably giving out now. My problem here was I was just thinking too much. So less thinky, more slay. What's great about these mummy levels is that ghosts drop Omni Geodes, perfect to trade for more artifact troves. So it's a big win all around. What was not a big win, however, was trying to do the same thing the next day. I got like 1 mummy level the whole day. To rectify a terrible day, I took fate into my own hands as the second day of the Trout Derby was on, and I was going to get myself a hat. I wasn't too sure if Sharky had been here yesterday, but if he didn't, then I'd be 1 hat up on him if he didn't. My goal was 10 tags to pretty much guarantee the hat drop, and armed with a bait maker, I made this competition my bet. I'm sorry, I'm just so pumped. I was rewarded with the bucket hat that night, another hat to add to my growing collection. Speaking of hats, Sharky had completed a special quest last week giving me a free prize ticket. The prize machine did have a hat to spare, and I was only now 1 more ticket away from it, so I picked up Linus's community cleanup quest. I then made a quality bobber back home. I used this to catch an iridium quality lava eel, which paired with my other star drop tea skyrocketed the dwarf's hearts. Any hearts I get is crucial to compete with Mr. Bunny Farmer over here. I headed back down the elevator to fish for trash. All of it went towards completing Linus's quest, and I finally had everything I wanted from the prize machine. No more grinding help wanted quests, thank God. And my soon-to-be husband decided to dodge a gift by mere milliseconds.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Well, look who came crawling back to my bed because he couldn't handle a little thing called time management. Thanks to my Kevin expeditions, I had the materials to craft an additional 7 crystallariums. The more jadestone the better, people. With some bone fragments, I traded for more taro root at the island trader, and planted down my, hopefully, final round of taro tuber. Might have been faster if I didn't plant rice shoots the first time, but hey. Afterwards, I went on a hat collecting crusade. In the Gormon Frog Cave, I fished up the frog hat. I bought fireworks and a mushroom seed to tailor into hats, and purchased Mr. Key's hat, all from the Walnut Room. I also accepted Danger in the Deep, which I picked up purposefully just to stop Sharky grinding monsters in the mines. I did give Sam his cactus fruit, he didn't run away from me this time. And I got my 3rd star drop from handing over the sweet gemberry I'd been growing in the greenhouse to the Master Cannoli statue. With some time left before bedtime, I parked up in the saloon grinding out some Junimo Carp for a while. I'm sad to say no new high scores were put up, but I did still lead with the highest score. I started day 52 up at the mountain lake. I'd forgotten to catch a sturgeon, so I quickly ticked that one off my list. Luckily for me, it made a perfect birthday gift for our favorite resident fisherman. Sam received his next cactus fruit. I'll get that boy to 10 hearts no matter how many cactus fruits it takes. And afterwards, I found myself catching a void salmon in the Witch's Swamp. I'll keep this one safe for tailoring as well. With not much else to do, I bust out to the desert and continue to slay mummies. And, well, any monster I came across, really.
Well, I guess you just have to be prepared to die.
Thanks to yesterday's thunderstorm, I was able to extend the collection of crystallariums by another 4. It turns out the special quest Sharky had finished last week had been the Prismatic Slime quest. Better him than me doing that, let's be real, that would have taken me all week. I know that because I can now craft Monster Musk. And that's bad news for Sharky because it's gonna make completing Monster Slayer goals so much easier. I decided to stay down here for the day. I thought I might as well make use of what I can imagine is the putrid smell of the Monster Musk. Collecting another hat from Gil is always such a good feeling. Plus it seems the Danger in the Deep quest ruse did not keep a certain somebody away from the mines. I had to take a trip over to the island this morning because I had to hand Leo a prismatic shard for his birthday. Trust me, I have no better use for them now that I've got all the enchantments I need. To take full advantage of being here on Ginger Island, I took off to the volcano dungeon for the day. I got as many teeth as Sharky has chances of winning this competition. 0. I started day 55 up at Robin's, commissioning a second house upgrade. A bigger house will get me another achievement, and another achievement gets me another hat. I then took all of my mystery boxes and artifact troves that I collected over the past season to Clint's. The good news, I got the mystery hat from opening my mystery boxes. The bad news is, I still don't have the treasure appraisal guide, despite the numerous artifact troves I've opened at this point. But it's not all bad, some artifacts I got to keep to eventually tailor into hats. hats, and with 2 seasons left to get it, I wasn't too worried just yet. Here we are on the final day of summer already. To kick it off, I had to purchase another rare seed from the travelling cart. I'll need to grow this for hat tailoring, so down it went into the greenhouse. I was after a very specific hat today, and that required me to win it big here at the casino. It took me ages to get anything going, but my winnings went towards purchasing the top hat, a classy addition to my hat collection. I think for the first time in my career as a pro Stardew Valley player, I did not finish the summer season at the Moonlight Jellies. Ghastly, I know. Who am I and what have you done with Poxial? But Sharky and I were so locked in on getting a good Junimo cart run, the time just kinda slipped away from us. I welcomed in the new fall season the same way I did for summer, with a rod in hand and catching as many of the new fish as I could. This did include the 4th legendary fish, the angler. I noticed while fishing this morning that Sharky had also taken a lover. I basically fished all day. And fished into the next day too. Okay, well I had to get Penny a birthday gift, and I popped by Sam's to keep the spark alive with another cactus fruit. My taro roots were already ready for harvest across on Ginger Island, but I did notice that, wait a minute, some of it was taken. That's not as many as I planted, right? I smell foul play and a certain stank of shark. Never to mind, I accepted Key's Let's Play a Game quest for a laugh, and I kept on fishing for more fall associated fish. Also, Sharky had some problems with the movie theater glitching out. Karma perhaps for stealing my taro root. Hello again, sweetie pie. Marry me? Sam and I were finally to be wed, and I might as well say that I'm doing this for the spouse star drop. And hey, Sam's a pretty good guy too. Me and Mr. Taro Root Stealer over here spent a bit of time fishing in the river. He's probably stealing my fish too, now that I think about it. He's done it before. I caught my walleye and dipped to pursue a higher Junimo cart score. What I didn't expect to do was put up a run like this. $71,230. I'll be honest guys, I have no idea how I did that. I never played Junimo Kart. That was just pure adrenaline and a whole lot of luck. I honestly didn't quite know how to follow a day like that, so I retired to the mines for the day to farm for gold. Believe it or not, I still wanted more crystallariums, and the lack of gold was making it hard to craft them. Something I'm only just getting around to now is purchasing the key to the town from Mr. Key. Now, I should have thought of this ages ago, but better now than never. Arriving back in the valley, I immediately handed over Elliot's birthday gift, and then I went nuts with even more crystallariums and triple shot espressos. I just love the speed boost I get when I drink them. With Sam moving in soon, I moved the collection chests out of the way to the other room. The last thing I need is Sam barging through a chest and destroying all of my hard work. I didn't think it could happen, but I wasn't going to take any chances. I then traded for more taro tuber on the island since I didn't have enough to purchase all the hats. Please make this the last lot I have to plant. I'm sick of planting them. I did a half volcano dungeon run to round out the day. I managed to bring home just one single tooth. The best part about getting married in Stardew Valley multiplayer is that the other person has to attend. Now Sharky has to watch as I do the thing he's been trying to do, but I did it faster. Speed is of the essence after all. With my husband acquired and a star drop shortly on the way, I dropped past the saloon to hand Gus a lobster for a quest. Can you tell I was getting desperate for villager hearts? The rest of the day was taken up panning at the dig site. The panning spots were aplenty, but the lucky rings were not. Quickly moving on to the following day, I started trying to give out loads of diamonds to make up for the severe lack of villager hearts I had. But I think it was at this point I decided to surrender this challenge to Sharky. I just had a feeling that I couldn't compete with the amount of rabbits he had. I still gave out gifts every now and again, but I made the smart decision to focus on the other 9 challenges instead. So I caught a slime jack. And I reeled in another lava eel for hat tailoring. Actually, I had amassed quite a few items to tailor into hats, and with the cloth now to back it up, I got to work on Emily's sewing machine. Content with how much fuller the hat chest was looking after all of that, I took off to the mines to whittle down the amount of dust sprites needed to get the burglar's ring. I reserved the start of day 64 for another dragon teeth run. I'm glad I did because all in all it was pretty successful. I walked out of there with 2 dragon teeth and a squire's helmet. The only thing is, I already had the squire helmet, so I'll have to be careful about duplicates from here on out. I did venture back to the volcano, this time to infuse my galaxy sword with a few rubies. A little bit of extra damage will be nice when I'm sending monsters to swim with the fishes. When I'm sending the monsters to swim with the fishes. I'm so sorry, that was my one attempt at a New York accent. As the day was coming to an end, I was able to get my 4th mastery level, this one in mining. Don't ask about the 3rd one, I completely skipped over it by accident. It was foraging. Who knows, maybe editing Poxial will find it.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
One thing that comes with mining mastery is the statue of the Dwarf King, a statue that will give me a choice between 2 different mining powers every day. Not a bad investment considering how often I'm either in the mines or in the skull caverns anyway. Today was another day spent in the volcano dungeon, and I think I was pretty unlucky not to even get one today. But I did finish off the magma sprite monster slayer goal, so at least it wasn't in vain. Turns out I wasn't satisfied with the lack of old purple teeth, because I went on somewhat of a dragon tooth tirade, because I just keep on going back each day hoping to get my hands on even just one to take home. And when I'd finish up in the volcano, I'd spend what time I had left farming dust sprites. To be fair, over the course of 3 days, I did get 3 dragon teeth. Not to mention my taro roots had all grown in that time, which I will use to purchase my 3 hats soon. And thanks to my surplus of iridium, I made myself an anvil. The anvil I used to re-roll a parrot egg trinket over and over until I got a level 4 parrot. Success. I finished off a fantastic day knocking off another monster slayer goal. Immunity to slimes is gonna be a game changer. It was on the next day I saw that Sharky had finally caught up to me in his own romantic conquests. I gave him some warm words of encouragement, but you know, if he got cold feet I wouldn't have been too upset. Time will tell with that. For now I headed back yet again for another rumble in the volcano jungle. When I left later that evening I relocated 2 more teeth back home, plus an ostrich egg I found thanks to a secret note was used to make another hat. What a way it was to start this morning with star drop number 4. A nice healthy breakfast to start the day. Being a Sunday did mean that day 70 started out in the desert trading staircases. My crystallariums had been working overtime, giving me 320 staircases. With these staircases I'd dive down the caverns until I came across a prehistoric level, and then I'd take care of all of the pepperexes. I accidentally ticked off the Bat Monster Slayer goal while down here, not that I'm complaining. I farmed a few more prehistoric levels with no goal completed just yet. I thought it might not happen today until one single pepperex on a random level was all I needed to finish it off. For completing such a daring task, I got the Knight's Helmet, which I will gladly add to our hat chest. After the amount of time and trouble it took just to grow 90 taro roots, I'm ecstatic to say that I finally purchased one of the island trader hats. And over at Key's Walnut Room I picked up Danger in the Deep again. No, not to mess with Sharky this time. Luckily I had some spare staircases to help me shimmy my way to the bottom. I needed the dangerous mines accessible for a multitude of reasons, one of which being the achievement, but for now it was nice to have that done and dusted. The 16th of fall is, of course, the Valley Fair. Sharky and I both needed to attend, and for the first time this whole competition, we worked together for once. We mixed and matched items from our stashes to have the best chance of winning. Why we needed to win was for the achievement we'd get for getting first place. And then it was time to grind for star tokens. I ended up losing most of mine to the spinning wheel. A little embarrassing to admit while your competition just watches on, judging you. But after a few more goes at the fishing game, I was able to purchase star drop number 5 and the fedora to add to our hat collection. Cooperation and all things buddy-buddy were thrown out the window by day 73. I had to watch on as Sharky took the next step with Emily. Glad to see he didn't get cold feet. I even complimented his outfit. On the agenda today was trading more taro roots for the second hat from the island trader. A dragon tooth run through the volcano dungeon, which unfortunately turned out 0 teeth. And when I returned to the valley, I went to the bottom of the mines and flicked the switch on the Shrine of Challenge, which would allow the mines to return to the dangerous variant. By doing this, I've now activated a strategy I've had in mind for a while now. Smelling like Monster Musk number 5, I plundered levels 40 to 50 in the dangerous mines. I can now farm dozens upon dozens of grubs, dust sprites, bats, and slimes at my own convenience. On top of that, the parrot will generate gold from these monsters slayed, and I mean a lot of gold. The dangerous mine enemies have chances to drop Galaxy Souls too, which I'll need 3 of. I was eager to return right away, but I couldn't forget about the third and final hat from the island trader. I just truly wouldn't forgive myself if I missed it, and I did purchase myself 1 Galaxy Soul for a cheeky head start. This is one strategy that I see Sharky was already ahead of me on, but I am the one farming countless amounts of monsters right now, so hey, I don't mind. And now that I had the burglar's ring, I think I'd be unstoppable. God, just look at me go. I actually couldn't get enough of it. But there's another reason I desired loads of gold. Because of that one stupid book that I could only obtain through RNG. You know the one, I'm sure. And essentially I wanted lots of money for bombs. I decided to switch things up the next day. My dangerous mine tirade had earned me another 2 Galaxy Souls, securing me the Infinity Sword when I infused all 3 into my sword up at the forge, and I too got the Infinite Power achievement. I did give Robin a birthday gift this morning to unlock the Cliques achievement. I may have given up on friendship points, but not achievements. And afterwards I took off to the Skull Caverns for the day to try and farm for Omni Geodes. Now that I had the burglar's ring, each ghost was guaranteed to drop 2 geodes. I got 36 Omni Geodes by the time I left that night. Believe it or not, I did the exact same thing again. My cavern dive this time was a lot more fortuitous and ghost slain. I walked away with another 47 Omni Geodes. You'd think with a higher amount of artifact troves at my disposal, Clint would just give the book to me, right? Wrong. Why would he? This guy hates me. And it's clear to see at this point. I'm aware I'm taking my frustrations on the RNG of this game on Clint. I just need a scapegoat, okay? The only positive thing to come out of this was a golden pumpkin that I can tailor into a hat. Actually, tailoring hats was still on my mind that afternoon because I commissioned a fish pond for the farm. I'll need caviar to tailor into a hat, so it's good to start preparing for that. I met Sharky that night to share a bit, for a bit of Junimo Kart. I may have him shaking in his boots a little bit after putting up a score of 71,000. Even I'm having a hard time trying to replicate a score that high. Did you assume I had enough crystallariums? There will never be enough. There will always be room for more. I took myself out to the dig site today because I felt like I'd been neglecting my panning roots. I wasn't having much luck, so I switched things up and I took a journey through the volcano. At least I can say I got 2 teeth because I can't say the same about any lucky rings. The grind for the treasure appraisal guide kicked back off on day 81. I purchased the desert totem recipe from the desert trader before heading off into the caverns. I kind of combined strategies here using both bombs and staircases to maximize Omni Geode potential. In fact, I did this for a few days. I was just hoping to have this damn book in my possession by the end of fall. However, I did pump the brakes on all of this by the end of day 83. It was the Spirit's Eve festival and Sharky and I had a maze to navigate through. I, being the pro gamer that I am, made it all the way to the end in no time at all. I even had to help Sharky find his way to the rewards chest. Now because we're in year 2, it doesn't give us a golden pumpkin. Instead, it gives us a prize ticket, which will become important later on. Before I get ahead of myself, day 84 marks the end of the fall season already. I got myself the lucky charm from the truck driver to manifest some luck. Today was the day I would get that treasure appraisal guide. So many Omni Geodes, so many artifacts, so many chances. No, not that one. Damn it. No, come on. Not that one. Still no. No, not that one. No, No, damn it. No, come on. No, not that one. Damn it. Just give it to me. I had to find some sort of win for myself, so I tailored 2 more hats into existence from that golden pumpkin and a jack-o'-lantern I picked up from last night's festival. Looks like I'm just gonna have to keep grinding for it throughout winter. I threw out all thoughts of that godforsaken book. I had to, or I might have thrown something. Instead, I began the change in seasons just like the ones before. Fishing. This did include the glacier fish, which does tick off all the legendary fish. Meaning worst case scenario is we tied that challenge, and that's fine by me. I also reeled in a sturgeon from the mountain lake, which went straight into the fish pond that Robin had built. Something that had totally slipped my mind was the raccoon quests. It had only just occurred to me that they offer both a power book and a hat. Luckily, I had everything needed to complete the first quest. Whether this was shared with Sharky or not, I had no idea at the time, but I needed that book if I wanted to compete. I even planted some powder melons in preparation for the next quest. Afterwards, I popped down to the Hat Mouse for the first time this whole year. I didn't think I'd be getting many more achievements, so I decided to purchase every single hat that I could. Back on the farm, I dropped them into my hat chest and it made a sizable difference, that's for sure. To round out a prosperous day, I pulled 1 more dragon tooth from the volcano dungeon before calling it a night. I followed up that day with another dragon tooth run. I wasn't getting anywhere near as many as I did when I first started, but a couple every now and again is way better than none at all. I hoped to follow that up with a lucky ring from the dig site, and finally my prayers to the panning gods were heard. 1 lucky ring found its way to me that night, and I'll be happy to add another one into our chests. I started day 88 over at Clint's, opening golden mystery boxes. The only valuable item I really cared about were lucky lunches, which I'll keep a hold of for future panning parties. But that one book just still haunted the back of my mind. I told myself I'd give up on finding it, but I just couldn't help myself. I needed to keep racking up the funds to buy more bombs. More bombs meant more Omni Geodes, and the more Omni Geodes I got meant more chances of getting the treasure appraisal guide. Quick intermission from grinding this one stupid book. I made another hat from the sweet gemberry I planted last season. Okay, where were we? Oh yeah, here we are. More monster slaying! I had to break from all things bombs, death and destruction the next day because it was the Festival of Ice. There was a hat up for grabs today just like the Egg Festival, and any advantage is worth fighting for. So I guess we both get the hat? Well, that's no fun. With money up the wazoo, I changed trajectory to the Skull Caverns to once again farm for Omni Geodes. 39 is the number of artifact troves I got from Omni Geodes. 0 is the number of treasure appraisal guides I got. Oh my god. I couldn't even do anything that night. Genuinely, I was speechless. Forgive me for saying this, but I did consider giving up on finding this book, because it was just so much work. I somewhat made up for this by finding 2 more dragon teeth the next day, and I tailored a hat with the caviar I made, but it just wasn't hitting the same. However, day 97 is a new day, a day to get ourselves a few wins to make up for the miserable events of the other day. Those wins came in the form of Squidfest. I purposefully waited to attend on the 13th, the second day of Squidfest. I did this because catching 10 squid throughout the day would land me not only the Art of Crabbing power book, but a funny looking squid hat. Don't I look equally dorky and adorable? Because it didn't take me long to fish up all 10 squid, I had some time left to finish off another raccoon quest. For doing so, I got the raccoon journal, which ironically leaves me with 1 more power book to get. But I put that thought on the back burner for now. I dedicated the following day to panning at the dig site, trying to make up for the severe lack of lucky rings in my possession. I wasn't finished there either. Another good luck day kept me here for another day. A certain someone decided to come and ruin the fun by sharing in all of my panning spots. Shockingly, I pulled a lucky ring after he arrived. Is Sharky my good luck charm? I mean, I've caught most of my lucky rings while he's been here. Nah, surely not. Oh my good god, I got another one. He is my lucky charm. I followed this up with another solid run through the volcano on day 100. I collected up another 4 teeth to bring home with me later that afternoon. I waited around the pier that evening for the start of the night market. It was here that I bought the cone hat from the mysterious boat vendor, and down in the submarine I caught the final 3 fish that I would need for the fishing collection. The last one being the blobfish, I popped the Master Angler achievement. A little bonus was I got to sew the blobfish into a hat at Emily's sewing machine. You might want to wipe the machine down after that one. And I got to buy the eye patch from the hat mouse for popping the achievement. The ultimate prize being the 6th and probable final star drop to collect. There is one more, but for that we would need to finish the museum, and I don't think either of us could be bothered doing that. I then slayed a lot of monsters. Day 102, both Sharky and I reserved for more panning. We both had a terrible day with hardly any panning spots, but at least we did it together. The following day was the day I decided to try one last time. One final massive push for the treasure appraisal guide. Only being 1 book away from having them all was gnawing away at my brain. If Sharky had them all, then I'd already be down by 1 point. A day later, I swapped over to the Skull Caverns to put all 665 bombs where my mouth was. I noticed that Sharky was here too, and was also going for a Skull Cavern dive. It became apparent to me as I started blowing through each level that he was putting his deepest Skull Cavern dive on the board. My target to beat was level 334. My friends, I had 665 staircases, and I planned on using every single one of them. Oh, now that is a Skull Cavern dive if I've ever seen one. So the grind for Omni Geodes continued. The days left in the competition were dwindling. This was going to be my very last chance. Oh, holy shit. Oh my god, I did it. That's it. That's the thing. That's the book. Yes! After countless days grinding away for this outrageously elusive book, here it was, in all of its glory. The final power book. Oh, I just have no more words. Well, I've got a few left because there's only 2 more days left before a winner is crowned. I spent the penultimate day of competition purchasing the raccoon hat from the wife's shop and panning on Ginger Island. The final day I also spent doing the same. Lucky rings were the only challenge I felt like I didn't give enough time to. Maybe if I got the treasure appraisal guide earlier then I may have had more time, but that is all behind me now. I have to trust that every minute spent strategizing and putting it to action was worth the amount of effort I gave it. It was now time to see who's taking away the crown of a year-long competition between 2 of Stardew Valley's biggest players.
We're here.
We did it.
Just like
we
that.
We did it. A whole nother year.
Oh my goodness, I'm so nervous.
Me too.
Come down to this, all this hard work.
For the viewers at home, because Sharky and I have obviously discussed how the scoring is going to work, it is basically a best of 10. And how it's going to work is obviously for some of these challenges, there are going to be ties, there's going to be draws. If that happens, then we get 1 point each for them. There are some challenges that are obviously non-negotiable. Someone will win, and if that happens, then that person gets the point, the other person gets 0. And it's basically whoever gets the most points out of 10 for these challenges. Let's start with most books read. Did you have any strategy for the books?
Okay, well, yeah, books is just books, right? My aim was to get all of them. I wanted every single book in 1 year. I didn't really have a strat. I guess there's no really strat for them, right? You just get them as you go along.
Yeah.
I knew where to get them. I knew how to get them. It was just a case of doing it. Time, right? So there was no set strat. It was just a case of getting them all.
100%.
Trying to get them all.
Yeah, 100%. That was the exact same for me.
3, 2, 1. I got all of them.
Ooh,
every single book.
Nice. Well done. How many power books did Poxial get? In 3,
Did you match?
2, 1. I got all of them too.
Yay! Okay, 1 point each.
1 point each.
It's your turn to go with star drops now as well.
I will show you right now that I have 6 out of 7 star drops.
I can't see the screen, but yes, I have 6 as well. Because the last one is completing the museum, right? Which we've not done.
Which we haven't done.
That's another point each.
6 out of 6, yeah, that's another point each. Ooh, so we're 2 from 2.
We need to talk about the legendary next, which is me. So I obviously got them all. You probably noticed that throughout when we was playing, that I got all the legendaries. And I saw that you did too.
Yeah, same here. I mean, we kind of had to get it for the star drop anyway, so.
So that's another tie. So it's 3-3 right now, man. 3-3.
Wow, 3-3.
And you're talking about the next one.
Right, the hats.
Oh, this is a big one.
Strategy for the hats. Obviously, we had achievements to get. Achievement equals hats at the hat mouse. So I was keeping on top of as many achievements as I could throughout the playthrough. The other hats, I had a strategy that I got Crusader on my sword, and I took off to the Skull Caverns quite a lot to gather cloth from the mummies.
Oh, damn. Okay.
That strategy got me so much cloth. It got me way more cloth than I needed, which was fantastic.
Mine was pretty similar, to be honest. It's so interesting, right? Because I was thinking, what is Pox doing with the hats, like tailoring-wise? Because you've not got sheep, you've not got rabbits. And I completely forgot about the Crusader and mummies, so that is so interesting hearing that. So my technique was rabbits. But this was for something else that I'm going to talk about after, but the main thing was for the wool and the cloth, and I was also tailoring, keeping all the items I needed. Basically the same thing other than, I used rabbits instead of the mummies.
Chest
Okay.
number 1.
Yes.
I completely filled up.
Okay. This is
Alright.
a deal breaker. So as soon as I see this, I'll know. Oh, God. Oh, God. Right, ready? 3, 2, 1. Okay. Okay.
So I had 7 in there. So my total was 77 hats.
So, open my
friend.
first chest.
Chest number 1.
Make sure you're happy with it.
Full to the brim.
When you open this, you... go on.
Alright, here
Go
we
on,
go.
see it.
3, 2, 1.
You won by 1 hat, I think. You won by 1 hat, Pox.
No.
I think it was 1.
hat. 1,
can't
2,
believe
3,
it.
4, 5. Oh no, you had 5, so
2?
it was by 2.
Oh, no.
Oh, by 2.
So, GG, you took a point. So, right now, is that 4-3?
I think so.
You've got 4 points, I've got 3. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, Village Hearts, get your calculator out, lads.
4 for Sam.
4.
So, got 186 hearts.
Yes, I got that too. 186 is your final heart number. 4 for Penny.
Penny. 80, dead on.
I got 80 as well.
We forgot to talk about strats for this.
Oh yeah, let's talk about strats. But oh, accidentally left the call instead of stopped sharing my screen. I'm so mad that I lost that I quit. Apparently.
Can you remember when I said I got rabbits?
Rabbit feet.
Rabbit foot.
Oh,
Iridium
rabbit's
quality.
feet. Oh.
Iridium equality.
Yeah.
Most universal loved gift bar penny.
Yeah.
Mate, I was getting so much of them towards the end. I was just spamming any villager I saw with a rabbit's foot iridium quality.
Yeah. Really good. Really good. 4-4 so far, and we're on to Skull Cavern Deepest Dive.
Well, this is very easy to see, and we
think,
already know who's won this one. I've probably talked about this in the editing because I could not believe it.
Yeah, I will put it on my screen now. I got 663. I did it the day after you did your one.
Day after. Couldn't believe it. You was waiting for me to do that as well.
Genuinely, I actually wasn't. That was just funny timing.
The next one we're talking over is me. Oh God, it's this one, is it? Don't get me started. This one, I hate this game so much. Endless mode. You see number 1 is Poxial there with a 71,000, by the way. And I'm only just on there with number 4. So 43,000 was my best. So you take that one down. So this is... To view this, you click on here, and if you go to the second page, there should be something that says monsters slain. So that's all the monsters in Skull Cavern and Mines together combined. How many you've slayed. Right, okay, second page. So my number is...
Here we go.
4,412.
Ooh, that's high. That's really high. Oh my god. Time to see the monsters slayed in 3, 2, 1.
Oh my goodness. You doubled
it. Oh my god. 8,608. Alright, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Oh my god. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Ready?
Here we go.
Just give me a spanking while you're at it. Oh!
You won.
Let's go!
You won that one. You won that one.
I beat you at your own game, Pox. I'll take it. Sharky's a true winner. Panning with Sharky right now. 3.
Here we go.
2, 1. Okay. 53 to beat.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Ooh, 41.
GG. You got it, my friend.
Oh my god. I can't believe I won. I am gobsmacked I won that.
You are very tough to beat, Pox. You're very tough to beat, my friend.
To be fair, you put in a good effort there.
I gave it my all. I really did try this time round. Well, I'm not saying I didn't before, but it's well deserved. You are so hard to beat, so I knew it was going to be a run for my money.
I can't believe the series is ending. It
I know.
felt like we've been doing it forever, and I'm sad it's coming to an end now. I better take my trophy. Woohoo!
Oh, wow, right, okay.
Yeah.
Let me, it's fireworks. Let me run some of these for you. Look at this.
Look, I'll place them too.
Yes. GG. Oh, celebrations.
Woohoo!
Hey.
There it is.
There we go. It's forever, and that shows that Pox won. Well, that is it, guys. The end of what feels like a forever thing. Like, it's actually quite sad and strange to say that it's the end, but that is it. 3 series, the trilogy of Sharky and Pox, and the crown and the trophy goes to you, Pox.
The end of an era.
Yeah, literally, right? We started this years ago, and here we are today.
So there you have it. The blood, sweat and tears were all worth it in the end, as I was crowned the title of the ultimate, supreme, totally the best Stardew Valley player of all time. I have to give props to Sharky and thank him for even challenging me to this in the first place. He is a fantastic YouTuber and an even more fantastic person. Like I said, I truly had a blast making these videos with him, and it actually sucks that this does have to come to an end. I will link his channel and the link to his POVs of the entire year in the description if you would like to go show him some love or watch the year all over again from his perspective. And with that being said, there's not much else to say except you're all wonderful people, so have a wonderful day and thanks for watching.